Today, we will learn the principles of following the teacher. If you are a qualified disciple and encounter a qualified spiritual teacher, you can attain enlightenment. How to follow the teacher, the route of the path. A somewhat elaborate explanation for developing a firm understanding. The reasons for following the teacher. The root of all spiritual attainments is the spiritual teacher. Even the arising of a virtue or the elimination of a fault comes from the teacher. Therefore, the way you initially follow the teacher is crucial. The scriptural collection of Bodhisattvas states, in short, attaining all the Bodhisattva practices, achieving all the perfections, reaching the Bodhisattva stages from the 1st to the 10th, cultivating patience, concentration, spiritual abilities, the retention of learned teachings and eloquence, dedicating merits and making aspirations, and even achieving the qualities of a Buddha, all come from the Guru. The Guru is the root from which they arise and grow. The arising and perfection of the qualities of all the paths and stages rely on the Guru. The Guru is the source of all spiritual attainments. Geshe Potowa said, "For attaining liberation, there is nothing more important than the Guru." Although we can learn worldly activities by watching others, we cannot learn them well without a teacher's guidance. Likewise, having just been reborn from the lower realms, how can we go to a place we have never been without a Guru? Patrul Rinpoche said in the words of my perfect teacher, "No sutra, tantra, or shastra speaks of any being ever attaining Buddhahood without following a spiritual teacher." We can also see that nobody has ever developed the accomplishments of the 5 paths and 10 stages through their own ingenuity and prowess. All sentient beings, including ourselves, show particular talent in discovering wrong paths. However, when it comes to following the path to liberation and omniscience, we are as confused as a blind person wandering alone in the wilderness. No one can bring jewels from a treasure island without relying on an experienced navigator. Even if you have a map, you may encounter many unexpected issues during the journey. Hence, without a guide, it is usually impossible to get the treasure. This principle applies even to worldly activities. No matter what you learn, it is hard to grasp without a teacher. Those who are talented in an area may have learned it in their past lives. However, even they would need to explore it for a long time before attaining a little insight. If you have never learned something in past lives, no matter how hard you try, you won't grasp it. Therefore, no matter what you learn, teachers are indispensable. Nowadays, in the Chinese Buddhist community, many monastics are only ordained but cannot be considered qualified spiritual teachers. A qualified spiritual teacher should be able to teach you how to practice. Many monastics don't even know what it means to practice. They are just ordained and can recite the 5 compulsory texts. Yet they also take in disciples. They don't know how to practice. Though they can recite the 5 compulsory texts, everyone can do that. However, reciting the 5 compulsory texts is not equivalent to engaging in actual practice. Memorizing the 5 compulsory texts doesn't imply mastering dharma practice. We discussed the issue of mantras last night. The mantras we recite are from the esoteric teachings of the Tang dynasty. Hence, mantras belong to the esoteric school. Without empowerment and dharma lineage, you won't receive esoteric teachings. As for the mantras you recite now, it's probably because the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas are compassionately building a karmic connection with you in the age of dharma decline if you don't have the dharma lineage. You can recite the Buddha's name and the Amitabha Pureland rebirth dharani. I remember when I became a monastic, there was no teacher to teach us the 5 compulsory texts. We just recited them on our own. We didn't know the correct pronunciation, so we pronounced them based on our dialects. Even if it deviated from the correct pronunciation, it didn't matter. We just read it roughly. Each person pronounced the mantras differently. The Shurangama mantra recited by people from Fujian with the Fujian accent was immensely different from the pronunciation of northern people. At that time, when we were in Fujian, everyone pronounced the mantras differently. Some people say that reciting mantras in this manner is effective. Well, it can be effective. Even if you recite 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 throughout the day, it can be effective as it can help calm your mind.